My videos are fact-based, made for curious minds and knowledge lovers. If you spot any mistakes, please comment. It helps me improve and keeps the facts accurate. Some may love cinematic visuals, but my focus is purely educational and informative. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. What if I told you the X-Men were real? Not as mutants in a comic book, but as real-life animals with superpowers that will absolutely blow your mind. I'm not talking about a bird that can fly or a fish that can swim. I'm talking about a frog that literally freezes solid and then comes back to life like it just took a long nap. I'm talking about a shrimp that can punch so hard it boils the water around it and creates a flash of light. These aren't myths or legends. This is evolution's brand of superhero. Today, we're diving into the world of nature's X-Men, counting down the most incredible, unbelievable, and downright bizarre animal superpowers that put comic books to shame. Stick with us, because what you're about to see will change how you look at the animal kingdom forever. The dung beetle, the strongest thing on Earth. Kicking off our list at number 10 is an animal you've probably laughed at, but it possesses a power that is genuinely unbelievable. We're talking about the dung beetle. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dung beetles, the little guys that roll around balls of poo. Yes, exactly those guys. But here's the mind-bending fact: the male Ornithophagous taurus dung beetle is the strongest insect on the planet, and arguably the strongest animal on Earth, period, relative to its size. How strong are we talking? This tiny titan can pull a staggering 1,141 times its own body weight. To put that into perspective, it's like an average 150-pound person pulling 6, fully loaded, double-decker buses. Think about the strongest weightlifters in the world. They struggle to lift maybe 3 times their own body weight. This beetle does over 1,000. So why does this little creature need such Herculean strength? It all comes down to their unique love lives. Female dung beetles dig tunnels under a fresh patch of dung, creating a private little love nest. When a male beetle finds a tunnel that's already occupied by a rival, a miniature clash of the titans begins. They lock their horns and get into a pushing match to see who gets kicked out. The winner gets to mate. The loser gets an embarrassing walk of shame. Evolutionarily, this means only the absolute strongest beetles pass on their genes, creating a feedback loop of ever-increasing power. And if their strength wasn't enough of a superpower, some species have a built-in GPS. They navigate by observing the polarized light of the moon, which lets them roll their precious dung ball in a perfectly straight line, ensuring a quick getaway from other beetles who might try to steal their prize. So next time you see a dung beetle, show some respect. You're looking at one of the most powerful lifters nature has ever produced. Section 2, number 9. The hairy frog. The real-life Wolverine. Coming in at number 9 is an animal straight out of a horror movie, or more accurately, an X-Men comic. Meet Trichobatrachus robustus, a name that doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. So, let's just call it by its nicknames: the horror frog, or, more fittingly, the Wolverine frog. Why the comic book comparison? Because when this frog feels threatened, it does something both horrifying and incredible. It intentionally breaks its own bones. The sharp fragments then pierce through the skin of its toe pads, creating a set of gruesome, cat-like claws. These aren't claws made of keratin, like our fingernails or a cat's claws. They are literal bone daggers. When a predator attacks, the frog flexes a muscle in its foot, which snaps the bone and forces the sharp end out. It then rakes these makeshift weapons across its attacker. According to researchers and local hunters in its native Cameroon, these claws can inflict deep, bleeding wounds. People who hunt them for food don't dare catch them with their bare hands, using spears and machetes instead to avoid getting sliced open. But what about the hair? During breeding season, the male frogs develop what looks like a shaggy coat along their sides and back legs. It's not true hair, but a dense collection of skin filaments filled with arteries. Scientists think these hairs act like external gills, letting the male absorb more oxygen from the water while he stands guard over the eggs for long periods. So, we have a creature that can sprout bone claws on command and grow its own scuba gear. And here's the final kicker. Once the danger has passed, it's believed the bones retract and the tissue heals, ready for the next fight. A healing factor and retractable claws. Wolverine, eat your heart out. The pistol shrimp, the sonic boom boxer. Get ready for an animal that weaponizes physics in a way that sounds like pure science fiction. At number 8, we have the pistol shrimp. This tiny crustacean, only an inch or two long, packs a weapon that's louder than a gunshot and, for a split second, nearly as hot as the surface of the sun. The pistol shrimp has one oversized claw it can snap shut at incredible speeds. When it does, it doesn't even need to touch its prey. The claw moves so fast, around 60 miles per hour, that it actually rips a hole in the water. This creates a tiny, empty vacuum bubble, a phenomenon known as a cavitation bubble. Now, nature hates a vacuum. The surrounding water instantly collapses this bubble with immense force. That implosion is so violent it produces a shock wave and a deafening snapping sound that can hit 218 decibels. For comparison, a gunshot is around 150 decibels. The shock wave is powerful enough to stun or even kill small fish and crabs from a distance. But that's not even the most insane part. For a fraction of a second, as that bubble collapses, the energy is so concentrated that the temperature inside skyrockets to over 8,000 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 4,700 degrees Celsius. The sun's visible surface is about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 5,500 degrees Celsius, meaning this little shrimp is creating a momentary pocket of star-hot plasma in the ocean. The collapse also produces a flash of light, an effect called sonoluminescence, literally turning sound into light. This shrimp is a living sonic cannon, a master of physics that hunts with sound, heat, and light. It's a walking, snapping science experiment that has perfected the art of the knockout punch without ever landing a blow. The Superb Lyrebird, the master of mimicry, our next animal superpower, isn't about physical strength or destructive force. It's about deception, illusion, and a level of artistry that is just baffling. At number 7, it's the Superb Lyrebird from Australia, nature's most perfect sound mimic. Lots of birds can mimic other birds. Parrots can mimic human speech. But the lyrebird is on a completely different level. It doesn't just copy sounds, it perfectly replicates them with such astonishing accuracy it can fool not only other birds but also sophisticated audio equipment. A male lyrebird's song is a complex symphony made up of the calls of other bird species, but that's just its warm-up act. Lyrebirds have been recorded flawlessly imitating the sounds of camera shutters, both single shots and motor drives. They can mimic car alarms, fire alarms, and even the roaring, grinding noise of a chainsaw. One famous recording by David Attenborough captures a lyrebird cycling through these artificial sounds one after another, each one a perfect copy. How is this possible? The secret is in its syrinx, the bird's vocal organ. While most songbirds have fairly simple voice boxes, the lyrebird's is the most complex of any bird on Earth. It lets them produce an incredible range of sounds, and they can even sing two different melodies at the same time. The male uses this incredible talent during his courtship display. He builds a small mound on the forest floor to act as his stage. There, he performs his intricate song and dance, hoping to attract a female with the sheer complexity and variety of his vocal repertoire. In a tragic, poetic twist, some lyrebirds in areas of deforestation have learned to mimic the sound of the very chainsaws destroying their habitat. They are singing the soundtrack of their own world being torn apart, incorporating it into their song of survival. This isn't just mimicry, it's a living, breathing audio diary of the world around them. The Axolotl, the real-life Deadpool. What if getting a catastrophic injury wasn't a big deal? What if you could just grow it back? For our number 6 animal, that's not a superpower, it's just life. Meet the axolotl, a critically endangered salamander from Mexico that has the most advanced regenerative abilities known to science. When we say regeneration, we're not just talking about growing back a tail. An axolotl can regenerate almost anything. Lose a leg. It'll grow back a perfect, fully functional new one in a few months. Damage its spinal cord. It repairs it without any scarring. Crush its heart or remove a piece of its brain. It will regenerate the damaged tissue as if nothing ever happened. This isn't like a lizard dropping its tail and growing back a stiff, cartilage-filled replacement. The axolotl regrows perfect bones, muscles, nerves, and skin. It's a flawless copy, every single time. Scientists have even transplanted one axolotl's head onto another's body, and the host body simply accepted it and it kept on functioning. So what's its secret? The axolotl stays in a permanent state of youth, keeping its tadpole-like features for its entire life. This is linked to an incredible number of stem cells all over its body. When an injury happens, these cells swarm to the site and get to work, following the original genetic blueprint to rebuild whatever was lost. Unlike in mammals, where scar tissue quickly forms to stop infection, the axolotl's process prioritizes perfect reconstruction over a quick patch-up job. Recent studies found another key: an ultra-sensitive molecular switch that controls protein production. After an injury, while most animals' cells slow down to save energy, axolotl cells kick into overdrive, rapidly building the new parts they need. They essentially have a construction crew on standby 24/7, ready to rebuild at a moment's notice. Scientists are studying the axolotl relentlessly, hoping to one day unlock these secrets to help humans heal from devastating injuries. It's not just an animal, it's a living roadmap to perfect healing. We are halfway through our list of nature's X-Men, and the powers are only getting more insane from here. If you're enjoying this look into the unbelievable world of animal superpowers, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming up next, because we're about to get into chemical weapons, cryosleep, and full-on shape-shifting. Now, back to the countdown. The bombardier beetle, the chemical weapons expert coming in hot at number 5, is an insect that has perfected the art of chemical warfare. The bombardier beetle might look like an ordinary bug, but it's packing a weapon so complex and effective it seems engineered. When threatened, this beetle shoots a boiling hot, corrosive chemical spray from its rear end with an audible pop. This isn't just a simple spray. It's a sophisticated, two-stage chemical reaction. Inside the beetle's abdomen are two separate chambers. One holds hydrogen peroxide, and the other holds hydroquinones, two pretty harmless chemicals on their own. But when the beetle is attacked, it releases these into a third, reinforced, reaction chamber. There, enzymes kick off a violent reaction. The hydrogen peroxide decomposes, releasing oxygen gas, and the hydroquinones are oxidized into a nasty chemical called benzoquinone. This reaction is incredibly exothermic, meaning it generates a massive amount of heat. In an instant, the mixture is heated to 212 degrees Fahrenheit, the boiling point of water. The intense heat also creates immense pressure from the gas, which forces the boiling, toxic liquid out through a nozzle at its back end. And this beetle has incredible aim. It can swivel the tip of its abdomen almost 270 degrees, letting it precisely target an attacker, whether it's an ant, a spider, or a hungry frog. Even more amazingly, the spray isn't continuous. High-speed cameras revealed that the beetle fires in a series of incredibly rapid pulses, up to 500 per second. This pulse jet allows the reaction chamber to cool down for a microsecond between bursts, preventing the beetle from cooking itself from the inside out. It's a biological machine gun that fires boiling acid. It's so effective that even if a predator, like a toad, manages to swallow one, the beetle can unleash its weapon inside the predator's stomach, forcing the toad to vomit it back up, completely unharmed. It's one of nature's most stunning and explosive defense mechanisms. The wood frog, the cryo-zombie. Prepare yourself for a creature that cheats death in the most extreme way imaginable. At number 4, we have the wood frog, an animal that has the real-life superpower of cryo-sleep. When winter comes, this frog doesn't just hibernate. It freezes. Solid. Found across North America, all the way up into the Arctic, the wood frog has a mind-boggling strategy to survive the brutal cold. As ice crystals start to form on its skin, a cascade of internal changes is triggered. The frog's heart stops beating. Its breathing stops. Its brain shows no activity. For all intents and purposes, it is clinically dead. Up to 70% of the water in its body turns to solid ice. So how does it survive this? If a human froze like this, ice crystals would form inside our cells and shred them to pieces. But the wood frog has a brilliant workaround. As soon as freezing begins, its liver starts working overtime, converting huge stores of glycogen into glucose. It then pumps this sugar into every cell in its body, turning its cellular fluid into a thick, sugary syrup. This syrup acts as a natural antifreeze, or cryoprotectant. It stops the water inside the cells from freezing, so ice crystals only form in the spaces between the cells, where they can't do any damage. The frog essentially dehydrates its own cells to protect them. In this state of suspended animation, the frog can survive for months, withstanding temperatures as low as 0 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius. Then, when spring arrives and the ice thaws, something miraculous happens. Its heart starts to beat again, its lungs begin to draw breath, and within a few hours, the frog is hopping around as if it just woke up from a really long nap. Scientists are studying this process intensely, hoping it could hold the key to preserving human organs for transplants. This frog doesn't just endure winter, it hits the pause button on life itself. The mimic octopus, the ultimate shapeshifter. At number 3, we have an animal that embodies the power of Mystique from the X-Men. This creature is the master of disguise, a shapeshifter so skilled it can transform its body, color, and texture to impersonate other, far more dangerous animals. This is the mimic octopus. Discovered back in 1998, this octopus takes camouflage to a whole new evolutionary level. While plenty of octopuses can change color and texture to blend in with rocks or coral, the mimic octopus does something far more intelligent. It actively impersonates other creatures to fool its predators. Its repertoire is stunning. If it's attacked by a damselfish, for instance, it will tuck in its arms and change its color to black and yellow, perfectly impersonating a banded sea snake, a known predator of damselfish. The attacker suddenly becomes the one being attacked, and it flees in terror. But it doesn't stop there. It can flatten its body and trail its arms behind it to glide along the seafloor, looking exactly like a venomous flatfish. It can bunch up its arms and jet through the water, mimicking the shape and swimming style of a poisonous lionfish. It's been observed impersonating at least 15 different species. How does it do it? An octopus's body is almost entirely muscle, with no bones to get in the way. This gives it unparalleled flexibility to change its shape. Its skin has millions of tiny, pigment-filled sacs called chromatophores, which it can expand or contract in an instant to change its color and pattern. It can also control its skin's texture, making it spiky like coral or smooth like sand. What makes the mimic octopus so brilliant is that it doesn't just have one disguise. It seems to analyze the threat and choose the most effective impersonation for that situation. It's a master of psychological warfare, using its enemies' fears against them. It's not just hiding, it's performing. It's a living, breathing special effect that proves in nature, the ultimate power can be the power of illusion. The Mantis Shrimp, the Speed Force Puncher. Our runner-up for the most unbelievable animal superpower is a creature we've met a relative of before, but this one takes physical power to a comic book extreme. At number 2, it's the peacock mantis shrimp, the animal with the fastest and most powerful punch in the world. The Mantis Shrimp wields two club-like appendages to hunt, and they are devastating. When the Mantis Shrimp strikes, its arms accelerate faster than a .22 caliber bullet. The movement is so fast, over 50 miles per hour from a dead stop, that your eyes can't even track it. If a human could throw a baseball with that much acceleration, we could launch it into orbit. The force of this punch is over 1,500 newtons, enough to easily shatter crab shells, mollusk shells, and even aquarium glass. But just like its cousin the pistol shrimp, the punch itself is only half the story. The strike is so fast that it also creates cavitation bubbles in the water. When these bubbles collapse, they produce a secondary shock wave that generates intense heat and light. So, even if the shrimp misses, the shock wave alone can be enough to stun or kill its prey. It hits its target twice with every punch, once with the club, and again with a sonic blast. How can it withstand these incredible forces without shattering its own clubs? The clubs are a marvel of biological engineering. They have a special nanoparticle coating and a layered structure that's incredibly shock-resistant. The outer layer is hard and designed for maximum damage, while the layers underneath are softer and arranged in a spiral pattern to absorb the energy and stop cracks from spreading. Military researchers are studying the Mantis Shrimp's clubs to design stronger, lighter body armor for soldiers. This small, colorful crustacean isn't just a brawler, it's a master of material science and physics. It's like the Flash and Superman rolled into one, a creature whose punch breaks the laws of what we thought was possible for a living being. The Tardigrade, the immortal, we've seen incredible strength, bone claws, sonic booms, shape-shifting, and resurrection. But at number 1, we have an animal whose superpower is the most fundamental and awe-inspiring of all: absolute, near-total invincibility. Meet the Tardigrade. Also known as the water bear or moss piglet, this microscopic, 8-legged creature is, without exaggeration, the toughest animal on Earth. They've been found everywhere from the highest mountains to the deepest oceans, and their ability to survive is legendary. What can they survive? Pretty much everything. They can withstand temperatures from just above absolute zero, 458 degrees Fahrenheit or 272 degrees Celsius, to well above the boiling point of water, up to 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius. They can survive crushing pressures up to 6 times greater than those in the deepest part of the ocean. They can endure doses of radiation hundreds of times higher than what would kill a human. And most famously, they can survive the vacuum of outer space. In 2007, a group of tardigrades was taken on a space mission and exposed directly to the vacuum and solar radiation of space for 10 days. When they were brought back to Earth and rehydrated, many of them revived and even went on to lay healthy eggs. They are the only animal known to have survived exposure to raw space. Their secret is a state of suspended animation called cryptobiosis. When faced with a life-threatening environment, a tardigrade can dehydrate itself, curling into a tiny, lifeless ball called a tun. It pushes out over 97% of the water in its body, and its metabolism slows to less than 0.01% of its normal rate. In this state, it can remain for decades, just waiting for conditions to improve. Unique proteins then coat its DNA, shielding it from damage like a biological force field. The tardigrade redefines what it means to be alive. It's an organism that can essentially press pause on life, becoming immune to almost anything the universe can throw at it. It is the ultimate survivor, and for that, it earns the top spot on our list of real-life animal X-Men. From the super-strong dung beetle to the indestructible tardigrade, the animal kingdom is filled with abilities so extraordinary they blur the line between biology and science fiction. These creatures have evolved elegant and often brutal solutions to survive, creating a roster of real-life superheroes that walk, crawl, and swim among us. And their powers are more than just cool. They're inspiring new technologies in medicine, engineering, and beyond. So, what do you think? Which animal superpower was the most mind-blowing to you? Would you trade places with any of them? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed having your reality shattered by these incredible creatures, make sure to like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another journey into the unbelievable. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.